I'm a science teacher here at the school, and some of the good things about the large IT content of the school is that there are some fantastic science animations that you can grab from the net and display up on the smart boards, and the kids can get a quick hands-on look at DNA replication, for example, or how different populations function and compete with each other. The animations like that are always really useful. They have huge access to different sorts of documents, whether they are Word documents or OneNote files. So a lot of that stuff's really easy, that you're not having to print out worksheets all the time, and they can have open a lot of the documents that they need at the same time. So that's really useful. The negatives of it is that sometimes a lot of the kids are off task because the net is there for them all the time. So that's a downside, but there's certainly a lot of upsides to it as well.
Just out of curiosity, because I don't do this when I've got the kids on, usually I almost never shut off the net. I usually put them on SmartSync.
Yeah, neither do I. I mean, the kids sync in as well, but then that still has to be monitored.
Right.
So it's a control, but it's certainly not foolproof.
Okay, thank you.
When students come to me in learning support, and I look at their OneNote, which is where they take their electronic notes from classes, they're often all over the place. So I spend a lot of time helping them organize, set up folders, set up titles of it, back things up to their P Drive, which is a school server, so they don't lose all their work. Many students I've worked with have lost absolutely everything multiple times during the school year because of crashes or viruses, and so one of my jobs is to make sure they don't lose all their hard work.
For language learning, to have the IT opportunities provides us with a lot of really neat activities that we can do in class, and we can also do a more self-dependent study with the students because we can have all the materials online. On the other end, that requires much more work to get everything prepared and put on our online platform, but it also enhances working together with your colleagues. So overall, I really enjoy having this opportunity to work in class, and students told me that they do as well because they can pick what level they want to work at, and it's much more flexible than just working with book.
Now I have a question for you. How much IT experience did you have before you came to this school?
Very little.
Can you talk a little bit about that?
We get briefed pretty often. Then on the tablets that we use, these are tablets, we had a week of instructions, and that was very useful, but it's more useful, the more you use it, the more familiar you get with it, and you can play around with it, and you get used to it, and you find tricks and things, and what you can really do with it over a period of time. It's just learning by doing, I would say.
I do use some of the applications that Matt was saying. I certainly use a smartboard. I use. I don't sync. I feel like I don't know. I teach upper level students, so I find it frustrating sometimes to think that they think that I'm supervising them. And that supervision can seem invasive at times. So I must admit, I've stopped doing it. I find that students here are fine, for the most part, they are on task, so I'm not using syncing, although I realize it has other applications as well as just monitoring. As an English teacher, I must admit, I'm constantly questioning whether I would rather just have a book in front of me. And as the year has gone on, I think I'm increasingly presenting a book in front of them rather than the IT. Although I think most of a lot of the success I've had this year in classes is when I've given students the chance to work with IT to present their own thoughts on the literature that we're studying in different ways, PowerPoints or photo stories or VoiceThread or various ways of doing it.